that we are showing you is at the beach with her mom and her 4-year-old sister. They're playing with the bouncy ball. The ball goes over the beach wall. Mom goes to retrieve it, turns around. Caleigh is gone. Joining us tonight and taking your calls, Anthony Harrison, Caleigh's father, joining us exclusively tonight out of Boston. Also with us, David Harrison, her uncle. Anthony, first of all, you were not there when this happened. You must be overcome, even though you had absolutely nothing to do with her going missing, with feeling like, what could I have done? What happened? Could I have stopped this from happening? What are police telling you tonight, Anthony?
Basically that the water search is over. It's an open investigation, but that's about it.
The water search for 2-year-old Caleigh is over. What do you make of that, Anthony?
Well, it was a pretty big search, and they had a lot of resources there, and I don't think she's in the water.
Explain to me what the mom said. What did the mom say happened?
She said exactly what you said. The ball went over the wall. She went to go retrieve it. When she turned around, my oldest daughter was standing there, and my youngest daughter was gone.
How long did it take her to go retrieve the ball? How far away was it?
I'm not positive on how far away it was, but I would probably say less than 2 minutes.
Okay, because 2 minutes a pretty good walk. Joe Gomez, investigative reporter, KTRH. What do we know? Why is the water search ended, Joe?
Well, Nancy, initially they believed that perhaps little Caleigh may have vanished into the water, but they have scoured those waters, Nancy. They have found no trace, so that leaves only one other possible explanation, that little Caleigh may have been abducted. And that 2 minutes that it took her mother to cross that wall and look for that bouncy ball, somebody could have potentially abducted little Caleigh, and she may very well be out there somewhere in somebody's custody, Nancy.
To David Harrison, the uncle of little Caleigh. David, Liz, let me see that that sketch you had for me, that graph of where the ball bounced. To explain to me again, David, what happened when Caleigh goes missing?
From what Allison has told us, she got to the beach. As soon as she got there, she had the family dog with her. She had one of those ball retrievers, the dog sticks. She threw the ball inadvertently went up on this little embankment that's kind of like just behind where they were. She walked down to the stairs, which were about 50, 60 yards away, went up to the top of the stairs, turned, saw both children still playing in the sand, turned to look for the ball in the little grassy area in front of some of the houses that are there, turned around again, and when she turned around, Caleigh was gone, and Elizabeth was standing there with her hands wide open when she asked her where Caleigh was. Then she frantically went back down the stairs. First thing she did was went look into the water, because that's where, when the child's lost at the beach, the first place you look is the water. She went in about waist high, looked around. In that period of time, it was almost impossible in her mind, and our mind too, that if she was from point A to point B out to around the corner where the little island was, she would have seen her. She was wearing pink, so she would have seen her. So after looking around that area, one passerby came by, and when she was frantic, and asked her if she wanted to call 911, and they did. And then the search went on, and then of course the ocean search went on for about 5.5 days.
Okay, I don't know if you can see the monitor. Liz, please put up that sketch for me again. You're seeing shots of little Caleigh right now, just 2 years old. Tip line 978-546-1212. Keep it there for me, Liz. You're saying, David, I'm trying to understand what happened sitting here in the studio, and you have actually seen the scene. You're saying the ball bounced, went 60 yards. I'm just comparing that to a football field, which is, I think, 100 yards. Isn't that right?
Oh.
Okay, 100 yards.
No, Nancy. Actually, all right, I'll explain it to you a little better. The The ball went up about 12 feet. The wall is about 12 to 15 feet high. Where they were when she threw the ball, it was very easy to get up on that wall. But to get up on that wall, she had to walk about 60 yards to the stairs to get up, and then back to where the ball was. So the ball actually didn't go 60 yards. She had to go 60 yards.
Okay,
yes.
Now, because what I was understanding didn't make sense, but you're saying she had to go back, like, toward the water to get to the entrance to the steps, then come up the steps to get to that wall.
Correct. Actually back away from the water, parallel with the water. If you've seen the sketch, you know, it's kind of like a little cove there, and she had to walk back parallel to that wall, up the stairs, back towards the bridge where the kids were.
I get it.
Then find the ball.
David. We're taking your calls. David Harrison and the father of little Caleigh with us, Anthony Anderson, taking your calls. Now I get it, because the story wasn't making sense to me, but now that you've explained it, I understand it. All right. Anderson, Caleigh missing. When Allison, the mother, goes back, the 4-year-old is standing there. What did the 4-year-old sister say as to what happened to Caleigh?
She said she didn't know. And that was it. She said nothing else.
Have you talked to the sister?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
A couple of different stories. She mentions a man. It's a little bit scattered. Of course, she is 4 years old. But she did, after a while, mention a man on the beach that took her sister.
All right. She mentioned a man on the beach that took her sister. This is something new that I didn't know about. When did she tell you this?
When did she tell us this? I want to say it was 3 or 4 days after. I'm kind of lost on time right now. They interviewed her with a state psychologist, and they came back and said she didn't know anything. And then after a few days, she started talking about it. And of course, you know, she's 4 years old. It's kind of hard to take a 4-year-old's word for it, but we're looking into it.
Well, both of my twins are 4 years old. And lucky for me, they are extremely verbal, so I get a lot of information. I mean, I know who got in timeout at play school that day. I know who showed what at show and tell. To you, Bonnie Drucker, what is being done regarding the 4-year-old's revelation that a man approached them on the beach?
Well, police said that they have interviewed the 4-year-old sister, but at this point they are not revealing anything. As the father said, a shrink talked to her, but police are being extremely tight-lipped about this, Nancy.
Robin Walensky, reporter with The Blaze. Weigh in, Robin.
You know, Nancy, what strikes me about this is that the beach was not yet open for the season, so there was a finite amount of people that were strolling around on that nice day when she goes missing. And it's really a mega mystery. You know, no one sees her go into the water of the people who are out there. No one sees her being snatched. And if indeed the 4-year-old saw a man, maybe the guy had a gun or a knife, maybe she's terrified. Maybe she really needs to think about it and go with another psychiatrist and maybe draw a photograph, draw a little picture as they do with little kitty art, Nancy, and maybe the truth will come out.
We are live with breaking news. Joining us, the father and the uncle of 2-year-old Caleigh, who goes missing on a public beach playing ball with her mom. Mom goes to retrieve a ball, had to walk 60 yards to get to the ball, comes back, the baby gone. Back out to you, Bonnie Drucker. Other beachgoers saw the girl, saw Caleigh on the beach, correct?
They did see her on the beach, Nancy.
Because a lot of people are going, oh, how do we know she was ever even there, that the mom didn't make up the story? other beach goers saw her there. To Anthony Harrison, this is Caleigh's father, there was a 5-day water search. What are police telling you, Anthony?
Basically, they've done everything they could for a water search. And from what we were told is a tragic accident.
What is Allison saying, the mother?
She feels the same as most of the family. I would probably say all of the family, that there is a huge chance that Caleigh was abducted.
Well, out to you, Mark Class, president, founder, Class Kids Foundation, that this is not adding up because there was a 5-day water search, Mark, and if Caleigh had gone out to water, you would have found her. That quickly, the search started almost immediately in the water for her.
Well, first, my thoughts and prayers go out to Anthony, David, and the entire family. And I just think it's such a desperate situation when your best hope begins where my nightmare ends, which is the fact that maybe some guy just showed up and snatched their little girl. To think that that's the best possible scenario is just absolutely grueling, but let's hope that it is. Let's hope that they're able to find this little girl and bring her home.
Everyone, again, the tip line, 978-546-1212. Let's don't give up on Caleigh Harrison, her father and her uncle